predictions. Welcome to 2023. Please grab a notebook. Please take notes on your iPhone notes. You can do that if you're listening to this on YouTube. Please follow me on TikTok. That's where I break down charts for the world. And follow me on Instagram if you want to learn your chart on live and listen to current updates. Watch the stories. Thank you. Anyways, if you're new here, let's find out how do you find your birth chart. So let's begin on that sense. First, you want to go to your this website, AstroSeek. You want to use the birth chart online calculator. I like to use AstroSeek. You can use whatever website you want. I like to look at the entire chart for this purposes, okay? So when you get to this point right here, you want to put in your birth information. The place you were born at. So I was born in New York, so I'm just going to put New York. If you do not have your time of birth, that is okay. Click unknown for right now. Generate your chart. You're going to get a picture just like this, right? So here's what you're going to do. You're going to look at what is your sun sign. It's this symbol right here. It looks like a sun with a dot in it, or the circle with a dot, whatever. It's going to be focused on the sign the month you were born. So if you're a Capricorn, and the degree will explain the day you were born. So if it was the 10 degrees, would be the 1st of January. Anyways, you also want to take a look at where your moon resides. If you do not have your time of birth or a range of when you were born, it's going to give you for that day where it would have been for that specific day. So for instance, it would have been a Libra anyways. So that means you're going to know that your moon is in Libra. Those are the two things you're going to listen to. So when you listen to these readings, you want to listen to your sun sign and you want to listen to your moon sign. Now, because you do not know your time of birth, you can't really use the moon sign, right? Like as much as the sun sign, unless you know the specific time. But here's what you want to know. If you are born in the day, let's say, for instance, you knew you were born in a day, use your sun sign. If you are a man, please use your sun sign. Okay, what else? Also, the sun sign will explain your external output. So things that happen in your career will be seen in the sun sign reading. So when you listen to the sun sign, it's going to describe to you more of your career, things that you can externally view, okay? Also, this could be even your health for your sun sign. For the moon sign, it will be more internal. So for women, it's important for us to listen to our moon signs for changes in our moods. Also for women that or people that were born at night, if you're a child or if you were still under your 30s. So if you're in your 20s, definitely pay attention to your moon sign. It's more important. This will show you more home stuff, more internal battles, and more personal relationships. So your friends and your, immediate people, like family. Now, for those that do have their time of birth, which means you do have the time of birth, you're going to click unknown. Let's say you were born on 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Let's just say you want to put Placidus, okay? Or for instance, you want to put Placidus first. One way to view your chart, okay, is going to show you that rising sign degree. If you know the exact time of birth, that means you looked at your birth certificate, not what your mom told you. Repeat. So, for instance, let's say you are in Aries. This will be more of this reading you will listen to. The rising sign, it will help you put together things that actually happen to your body, your direct moves, okay? The actual events that are happening according to the sun. So whenever the sun focuses on these houses, it will be more accurate of a reading. So those are the things that I want to inform you of. So this is your rising sign, your first house, your ascendant, your lagna, okay? I hope that makes sense for everyone out there. Now, this is another way to view your chart, which is called the whole signs. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something from this part. Okay, so now that you have your whole sign, let's say you have your time of birth, you look at your sun sign degree, you look at your moon degree, and then you look at your rising sign degree. Whichever is first, you listen to first. So if your rising sign is the largest degree, listen to that first. Then, like for instance, the moon is the second largest, you listen to that after, and then your sun sign. I hope that makes sense to the things that you've learned today. Thank you. Important dates of 2023. So you might want to write these down, put this in your calendar. These are the important dates. So starting off with Saturn, the planet of karma and time lord, will be shifting signs after being 3 years in Aquarius, will be entering Pisces March 7th, and it will be there all the way to 2025, I believe. Up next, you also want to jot down that when it goes retrograde, it will be June 17th through the November 4th of 2023. Then we're going to also experience when Jupiter enters Aries, which it already has in 2023. But in May 16th, Jupiter will end its transit in Aries and it will enter Taurus, and it will be there for 2023. So May 16th, this is important. Jupiter, the planet of joy, the belief system, the focus of the year, really, after the sun. This is the goal or the abundance or the opportunity of the year will be entering Taurus. May 16 to 2023. Around September 4th till the end of the year, it will go retrograde. Jupiter will enter retrograde in Taurus. Also, a notable date that you should also put down, it is June 1st. So June 1st is an important date for a Jupiter and the North Node in Taurus at 2 degrees. So please pay attention to that. If you have this as a main player, as a main pillar, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio. Okay, up next, we're going to have the eclipses. Okay, we're going to have 4 eclipses. Write down these days. One day will be April 20th. It will be an eclipse in Aries at 29 degrees. It is a new moon. Okay, and Mars will be at in Cancer then. Okay, so the next one will be a full moon on May 5th, and it will be at 14 degrees Scorpio. Okay, and it's a full moon, and Mars will be at 21 degrees. We have up in the middle of the year, it will be in October 14th. We'll have a 21 degrees Libra new moon eclipse, and Venus will be in Virgo. Okay. Also, and we'll end the eclipses for 2023 in October 28th, which will be a 5 degrees Taurus full moon eclipse, and Venus will be in Virgo. Also, notable mention will be in July 22. Well, excuse me, starting June 5th, June 5th, we'll have Venus in Leo, and all the way to October 8th, Venus will remain in Leo, which is important. It's a very long transit for a personal planet or interpersonal, whatever. Which is Venus rules relationship, money, desires, okay, women. So it's very important to know this. Also, food. Venus will also go retrograde July 22nd, okay, and it will stay retrograde till September 3rd of 2023. It will go retrograde at 28 degrees Leo. And let's see when it enters back in September. I believe it will be, let's see, since I have you here, Venus will be all the way at 12 degrees Leo. It's important. So write down these degrees so you can also look for this in your natal chart. Another notable mention is a Pluto. Not notable, it's very important. So in March 23 of 2023, Pluto will enter Aquarius, and it will go to 0 degrees all the way to May 1st. Okay, so on May 1st, Pluto will enter retrograde. Let's see what that will be, 2023. And it'll still be at 0 degrees, 21 minutes, apparently. So let me just make sure. Let's put New York, because I am in New York. Thank you for watching. Hello. Duh. So yeah, May 1st, if I'm not mistaken, let's just put May 2nd. Pluto will be retrograding back into Capricorn, and it will be there actually June 11th, okay? It will be actually in Capricorn for the rest of 2023, and it will go direct in October 10th at 27 degrees, which is an important degree. That is a Gemini degree. It will represent and it will be shown in the mercurial things in life. And then Pluto will enter Aquarius officially January 20th, 2024, which happens to also be America's inauguration day. Interesting. Thank you for listening to this. Please write down those dates. Sorry, 2023 predictions. Let's get started. We're going to do career, money, health, and then we're going to do relationships, okay? So, off rip, things that you should know, sun, moon, and rising. Look at the date that I have going on here. It's December 30th, 2023. I want you to take a look at the Saturn, the Time Lord. It is at 3 degrees. So that means it's not touching a lot of people. That means that a lot of people won't feel it. Meaning those that are born in July going into August would definitely feel it more. This Saturn transit. So just want to let you know about that. Now, your money is really controlled by Mercury. What does that mean? Your second house, which is sun, moon, and rising, doesn't matter. Sun, hello. The second house away from you will be ruled by Mercury, and so is the 11th house away from you will be ruled by Mercury, the house of gains. So that's important to know. We'll talk about that when we get to the Mercury retrograde planets and how they play out for you. Next, Venus rules your public image, your career, bosses, okay? Venus, so the transits of Venus when it goes retrograde, which it will this year in Leo in your first house, okay? So we'll talk about that. It'll happen between July to September for 3 months. Venus will be going retrograde. Now, for your health and partners, Saturn rules your health and partners. So the changes that happens between your the 6th house and 7th house away from you, which is about your daily routine, things with work, important contracts, and even your relationships. So when it does go retrograde, which it will, between June 4th to October, I want you to see those changes as well. Those are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 month periods. So I hope that makes any changes or sense when that happens. Okay, so let's start off with the nitty gritties. Okay, first things that are going to be monumental. The first half of the year, Jupiter will be in Aries, 9 houses away, making a trine to you, Leo. Sun, moon, and rising, okay? So what does that mean? Jupiter usually rules the 5th house and 8th house. The 5th house is the house of children, hobbies, things that you're learning, going to school, things that you find fun, your lovers, dating, right? The 8th house is crisis or transformations, other long distance family, surgeries. The 8th house is debt, okay? Being that it moved into the 9th house, you've been approved. The 9th house is a trine to you in a trine to that Dharma house, the 5th house, because they're fire energy. So that means you got chosen. You means that you have to check your body. That means that you are advertising more. The 9th house is about advertising or learning or traveling. Your children could be traveling, changing schools, or, the first half of the year in school, That's a thing to remember. And then Jupiter around May 16 will go into your 10th house. The 10th house from there, and it's going to join the Uranus, and then the North Node will be there around May 16 to June. And what happens is the North Node and Uranus both come from the Aquarius energy, which is your 7th house, which is relationships, contracts, and decisions that you make. Now, the North Node is like a fool's gold. It comes by really fast. It doesn't really stick. The Uranus has been in there since 2018 and has been showing you different versions of yourself. You've been doing different work ventures. You've been probably doing new lovers. There's a lot of newness since 2018. Think about that. What have you been like publicly, even careers? This could have been a job. This could have been, Uranus could have got you a side hustle, teaching you new things. You made the decision to learn something. Now, for those people that are in relationships, those people that are in the relationships, though you could have heard a decision from your partner, or let him or he make a decision about your life, and then you follow that, and then now you're here, whatever that may be to you. Even recently, when the nodes switched into Taurus, that could have been a theme that you listen to their idea or their plan. I do want you to know that Aquarius, or the nodes, and Uranus are not friends to the sun. So you choosing what your partner has been wanting these last couple of years may not have worked out best for you. I don't know if that, or vice versa. Also, this means that your partner may be having a lot of plans for his career, about his life, about his home. This could have been some type of changes that they're working on very quickly, very ambitiously, because it's in the 10th house. It's like a square. So maybe they're into themselves or their career, their homes, or something, fixing up the home, whatever it is that he's been doing he or she been doing for the last 3 years. You would have seen those changes by now. That's what the North Node has been showing you, which means that you got rid of stuff at home, changes with your mother. Your mother could have had some surgeries. You've gotten rid of stuff. There could have been people left the family. You were getting eclipse here. That's where the nodes are. These little symbol right here, when they eclipse is when they happen, are karmic events that just seems to unravel throughout the year. So they were just in the 10th and the 4th. 10th had you very ambitious with your life, while the 4th made you really not want to go home and be there. And you not do that same thing. It depends on the Leos. Excuse me. You want to make sure you know who I'm talking about. I hope that makes sense to you. Now, when the nodes switch, they're going to go into your 9th and 3rd house. Those are different. And we're going to talk about that. The North Node, like I said, is a rulership of the 7th house, or Aquarius energy, going into the 9th house, which makes you a trine to you now, to your body. So some of you, because Saturn is in the 8th house, get surgery. Some of you get into school. You start learning, you're researching. The North Node gets you very highly obsessed with 9th house things. Schooling, getting judged, going to the courts, finishing up things and with the government, getting approved with loans, right? Changing things up with your name. This could get you married. Some of you could get fast and married. I didn't say it's going to stick. I just said it would get you married because you're thinking fast, and it's the ruler of the 7th. Your partner wants to go out, get married, or go, to different countries, travel. The South Node is more about letting go. Is in the 3rd house. There's siblings, the way you communicate, letting go of old devices. Maybe some of you have old iPhones that need to change it up a little bit. The South Node here makes you also get into K2 things, like 3rd house is a skill that you're learning. You can get you into K2 things, like, occultic, astrology, tarot, whatever, something like that. Reiki. It makes you do that because K2 makes you want to go back to the old stage. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for those node switches. Now let's talk about Saturn. Saturn is the ruler of your 6th and 7th. Saturn ruling your 6th house is about your health. Some of you may have some health conditions that have been going on for the last couple of years. It could have gotten worse, especially, or better, because Pluto's been in your 6th house for a long time. So these are underlying, like, diseases or things that you could have came up, or you couldn't keep a stable job, or you couldn't get a job at all, or your routine was controlled by your partner, whatever. It's now coming to a change. The 8th house means that your routine is completely transforming. Your health is getting into complete transformation. Now, again, it won't start off all you Leos. Like I said, is the early beginning Leo, sun, moon, and rising. Now, for this could, if you're a moon in Leo, this could be family going through some crisis. I had Saturn in the 8th house for 3 years, and baby, when I tell you, it was not just about money. Okay, so there could have been money stuff, crisis. There could be, what else that I could tell you right now? Sexual intimacy things that happen. Saturn blocks this, delays it. I had that. And it also makes a kind of like a square to your fifth. You may not want to be intimate with people. You may not want to share your love with people. Because Saturn being restricts it. And you're trying to figure out why you feel this way, whatever the case may be. You know, Saturn in here is going to have you completely give birth to a brand new in psychological mind. The way you think is going to change internally. Your inside voice. Now, I'll tell you this, Saturn here will change and upgrade your fifth house of Sagittarius, because that is the 10th placement away from that Pisces placement. It's the Sagittarius house. So what does that mean? Some of you will end up with children by the end of this. Some of you will end up going to school or finishing school, some type of hobby. Some of you may take your fifth house hobby and make it into a business. Eighth house rules clients. Saturn there will bring you clients into this business that you may build, this new baby that you're trying to build. Some of you will change your entire complete personality, because that is what the fifth house is all about. Your personality is part of your Dharma house, so your purpose will change in that. Like I said, look, it don't start off everybody, so don't rush. No need to. Now, Jupiter is part of this whole kind of like in change as well. Jupiter, right, will be restricted or be refined because Saturn there. And what is Jupiter in your chart? Is your Dharma, is what makes you happy, your happiness. It's how part of your performance, if you think about it, right? You need Jupiter and you need Mars in order for your body to succeed, or to read more about what's going on within you, because those are the planets that rule your Dharma houses, which is the fifth house and the ninth house. These houses are about you literally living your purpose in the decisions you make. Like, you're literally what the character does within you. So when Jupiter goes retrograde, which it will till the end of the year, starting September 4th all the way to December 31st. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 months at the end of the year. Jupiter very highly affects, not only if you have a child, like for instance, let's say Leos, you have children, it'll change their schedule up. It'll change things up for you as well, internally or financially, because it opposes your second house of money or debt that you own. So I want you to pay attention to those retrogrades and see what kind of projects happen, if you're inspired or things slow down. Because again, Jupiter rules the fifth or the eighth. What happens to your in-laws, the things that are happening outside of your control, the eighth house, these crises, what happens to that crisis or that problem. So I do want you to pay attention to that. Also, I will be updating Patreon when I learn more about you all. Thank you. Okay, when I do readings. Okay, so let's see. Yes, that is June. So we did the nodes will be switching main hitters into your ninth and third. That helps you get certificates, get government stuff. Your mother's home may be also changing, so pay attention to that as well, because the third is if you don't live with your mother, okay? If you don't live with your mother, there is changes happening to her, so please keep that in mind. Okay, let's see what else. Am I missing something? Yes, so relationships, just to sum it up. The ruler of your seventh is going into the eighth. This is either a make it or break it kind of energy. So if you're in a relationship, it's going to make it or break it, meaning it's going to transform it, or you guys going to get deeper into this. It depends. Especially after March, you'll see what I'm talking about. And again, it won't affect everybody, just the early August people. They really are going to see that and feel that, okay? When Saturn goes in here, like I said, it can end the relationship. It can make you dive in more, or your partner's family are much more the main characters of the year. They'll have more changes in their life, more crises, more things that need to be paid attention to. This could also mean that your partner's money is changing. That could be a theme or a situation that keeps happening throughout the year. Your partner could be going through some transformational things. You'll obviously know because you're there. Some of you that are not single, which I doubt, Leo. If you are single, though, you are kind of learning yourself, and your love language is going to change for the next 3 years. So if you do meet people, they're going to challenge that love language. So it's for you to learn, and so you understand boundaries. You know how you don't like those Leos. But I feel like when Saturn goes into your ninth house, you will get married. Now, I will let or meet someone, because then you're going to be looking at me if you don't get married. No, but you definitely will meet somebody when Saturn goes into Aries, which will be 2025, 2026, 2027. I will let you know because I have Saturn in the ninth house this year. So, bitch, I will tell you what happens. Excuse me. Before I forget, yes, Venus will go in Leo in your first house between July 28th to October. And I will tell you right now, my friends, Leo. Yeah, all the way to September 4th. So from July 28th to September 4th, Venus will be going retrograde. Now, Venus is the ruler of your career, of your public image, of, yeah, literally those two things, honestly, and bosses. And also the third house of communication, siblings, and short distance traveling, paperwork. It is going to be in your first house or on you, whether you're a sun, moon, or rising, which means that these changes are going to happen in your career somehow, or some changes that you've been waiting. Paperwork obviously is in July, so you'll know by then what it is that Venus is going to bring to you, obviously, duh. But I know it has to do something with your career or how you look or the conversations that you're having. It could be triggering. Now, it could be making you the it factor. Okay, around that time, Jupiter's still in Taurus, which is trining your second house of money the entire year when Jupiter's in Taurus, and your sixth house of work. So if you have a service or work, you'll get more hours, more money's coming into you somehow. Some more things that you value, more resources coming into you somehow. So Venus in there just makes you more desirable. Venus is not a scary planet, unless you already have like some underlying issues with health. But this Venus does rules the kidneys. So Saturn being in the eighth house, it could be a theme, going on down there. Some type of surgery, some type of change. What I do cosmetic surgery while Venus is in retrograde. Not necessarily something cosmetic, but maybe if it's something internal, maybe, yeah. Because Mars is the planet of surgeries. Venus is cosmetically looking. So I'm not too, if it's internal, I'm not afraid of it. Now, if it's outside of it, I'm not going to do it. Okay, another retrograde that I want to let you know about is the the Mercury is retrograde. One will be happening April 21st to May 14th, and then again August 23rd to September 15th. So the first retrograde will be happening around here, this timeline, and it's going to be happening 10 signs away from you. Mercury, like I said, rules your money, so this could be old money that you haven't received from your job because it's in your 10th house, or old gains from there, or a friend may need you around that time. 11th house also rules friends. And retrograde means that your friends could be going through something around that time. Or you're doing something publicly. So not a bad thing. You still work under retrogrades, okay? Then the other retrograde was August 23rd to September 15th, which will be around this time, to September 15th. So that could be something towards your money, actually, like actual money, or things going on with your family, or things like, or with your self-worth, or stuff with, or things that you have to do with your stuff, like resources, your clothes and shit like that. So those are the timelines that I really wanted to also put up there and bring into your attention. And then the last retrogrades will happen around December. It involves a little bit of children for some of you, especially those born later August. So do pay attention to that, because this could be part of those Saturn lessons. So I hope that makes sense to you. These are the retrogrades. Go ahead and take a screenshot if you're looking towards them. Neptune just really changes things, either with your children or internally. Pluto retrograde is a time to also pay attention to for those health issues or things that are, if you've been applying for a job and you can't get it, it's okay, because it might retrograde backwards and you have to wait till October, maybe. And Chiron is on what you believe in God and things like that. Chiron will be retrograding. It can affect you because it's in a fire sign. It could be health stuff. So I do want to let everybody know about that as well. And the time frames for this are like the middle-born August people. After like the 5th all the way to like the 17th, pay attention, not the 17th, well, 16, 17. you will be seeing Chiron's retrograde. Chiron is about fixing things. Things with finances could come up, things with your health. You know, the reason why finances comes up because Chiron naturally rules Virgo things, and it's your sixth house. Excuse me, it's your second house of money. So I hope that makes sense for those that are learning, trying to figure out what does that mean, right? Saturn goes into Aries, which will be 2025, 2026, 2027. I will let you know because I have Saturn in the ninth house this year, so bitch, I will tell you what happens. Excuse me, in the upcoming year. Okay, Leo, I hope this makes sense. It's a very interesting year for you. You're having monumental things, life changing events. I know you don't see that just yet, but trust me, there are life changing events coming your way. That is a fucking fact. Also, pay attention to your dad figures. There's a lot of things happening to your father houses. Jupiter rules the elder father and siblings. So, I hope that makes sense to you, Leo. I will keep my head down for the next 3 years. Research, learn. That's what Saturn's going to make you do, anyways. Keep to yourself, my friend. Some of you may go on trips this year, especially when the eclipse is in the ninth and you had Jupiter there. So take that opportunity to go on those trips, honey. It's all to change you psychologically anyways. So thanks, Leo. Moon and Rising, I'm 2023 predictions. I am your host, Shady Sherrills. Hello. Follow me everywhere. I am also updating all this stuff. I'm also updating all this stuff online on my Patreon. Sorry that I paused because I started reading something. Yeah, so I'm updating constantly when I do readings. So if you want to learn more, this could be a theme. So yeah. Okay, let's get it started. Let's do your career, money, health, and then we're going to do relationships towards the end. Let's get it started. So your career is really ruled by Mercury, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Trust me. Your money is really ruled by Venus and the transits of Venus, while your relationships and personal matters are also ruled by Jupiter. So the transits of Jupiter does change things up for you. So let's get started with that. So Jupiter is going to go into two different signs. It's going to go into the 8th house, and then it's going to go into the 9th house. The 8th house are crisis, transformations, long distance family, debt. You know, this could be Jupiter's trining your 4th house and your 12th house. So this could be, some opportunities to leisure time. The 12th house is leisure, having fun, spirituality, being creative, or spending time at home because Jupiter trines your 4th house of home. So that seems like a plan to me, right? So then when Jupiter enters your 9th house, which will be in May 16th, when it'll join Uranus, which has been there for a while, and it's going to join the North Node, which has been there also for a while. Now, these two other energies ruled your Aquarius houses. North Node is more like a fool's goal, while the Uranus, what's been showing you since 2018, is what an opportunity for the future, technically. So if you've been seeing developments in your life in some other department of status, learning, like let's say since 2018 you've been a teacher, or you've been training for some type of new job, skill set, or learning something new since 2018, you can make money off of this. You can use this for your future as part of your status. Okay, part of you continuously learning. Now, the North Node just recently came, which was in there last year. So introduce a couple of like fool's gold, things that don't really last. It's just like they're temporary. And it comes from work. It comes into your daily routines. Like some of you probably paid for a trainer. You've been getting trained for the last however months or whatever. Some of you change, 9th house things with your legal name, you advertising, publishing, got legal problems. It'll be a theme. So pay attention to that. You know what I mean? So what else? Let's see. That's basically Jupiter's transit. When it's in the earth signs, it does better for you. You get more clout, more recognition because it trines your 1st house. Look, is an earth energy, and it trines your 5th house of creative ventures. So if you are working on a project low key, wait till May 16. You'll definitely be picked, or the it factor, if that makes any sense to you. So another thing that's big shift energies is Saturn. Saturn is the ruler of your 5th house of lovers, children, things that you're learning, your personality, and it's also the ruler of your 6th house of what you do daily as a routine or jobs that you work. Not necessarily like things that you want to work, is working for the man, or the 6th house of work, or health, excuse me, sorry, repeat that. And it's going into your seventh house, which means it's becoming a progression. So your personality is changing, is the development there. It's a complete different upgrade. It's going into the house of relationships, contracts, and making big decisions in our life. Now, if you're a sun in Virgo, these are your business associates. These are people you work with. Those interactions are becoming more mature or realistic, or they're demanding more from you in a kind of way at work, or even your creative ventures that are all by yourself. Like you're doing it all on you because Saturn rules, all the responsibilities, work. And it's sometimes Saturn brings like loneliness. So just be careful. Just want to let you know that. Okay, Saturn will be opposing your first house from here. So just keep that in mind. It'll be opposing you, the way you communicate, the way you look. It might just be triggering people. You're learning lessons with that. Also, your health. Pay attention to that. Some of you Virgos need to pay attention to that. Overall, the Pisces Saturn transit, Saturn in Pisces. Notice how this is. Look at this date. This is December 30th. So this is the last day of 2023. And look at where Saturn is at, which is actually at 3 degrees. So only speaking to those Virgos born in August and like early September. So they really would feel that because those are the only people that are getting really targeted. Now, Saturn is still going to show his effect somehow. You're going to have to start being more agile, smarter when it comes to making these decisions. They're permanent. It's cleaning up this mess that you've done in your seventh house, whether it's relationships, whether it's interactions with others, how people view you. That's changing. Okay, so that is one thing Saturn knew. And it's going to build your fourth house because Saturn in Pisces has a 10th placement for itself at the Sagittarius house, which happens to be your fourth house, your inner development, self-development, whether it's your body, whether it's your home, whether it's your family. Some of you will become first-time parents. That makes sense. Some of you move into your own space. That's perfect. So, that is what it's meant to be. That's what Saturn's trying to help you with. So I hope that makes any sense to you, that have an idea what your fourth house may be, what you've been creating. It really should look at your Jupiter in your natal chart. It will show you some of the things that you need to be focusing on, mainly if it's in your second house, which is family and money, third house, which is your writing or legal paperwork, siblings. It is going to tell you more details. So look at the Jupiter in your natal chart. Okay, so May 16 is the shift of Jupiter. Saturn will be going retrograde, and that will be happening. I'll tell you right now. We're going to talk about it right now. Saturn will go retrograde between June 17th to November 4th. So that'll be from when the sun is transiting over your career or public viewing. So to all the way to November, which is actually like 6 months of Saturn retrograde. Remember, Saturn changes your work or your daily routines. So prepare for that, some type of change in your routine and some type of change in any projects or children. Remember, Saturn rules also the 5th house. So I hope you understand what that means, okay? Then Jupiter is in retrograde between September 4th, okay, all the way till the end of the year, December, which is your inner houses, personal houses, family, your things that you ingest. So Jupiter, like I said, it rules the family and personal, like relationships, whether it's business, whether it's personal relationships, or even your family. Just know that these things can change around that timeline. Your connections, what else? Homes and partners. Okay. Then I have, let's look at your Mercury retrograde. So Mercury's retrograding August 21st in Taurus season to May 14th, which is going to be affecting your 9th house, or the 9th placement away from itself. It's bringing your 1st and your 10th in there. So changes to supervisors, your role personally in that job. You may have to go on some flights randomly. People may come see you, visit you. Depends, There is some 9th house changes. Maybe you have to do something legal that comes back up. Something that requires another, like, corporation, like the government, writing, whatever it is. It's the 9th house. You may be questioning God. I do all the time. August 23rd to September 15th, and Mercury is going to be in your 1st house around the summertime. And September 15th. Yeah. So that could be your 10th house and your first house. This could be body things again, things with your personality, things that you have to change within you. Just giving you, because it's actually activating your body. So just want to let you know that. Write that down. That will be happening August 23rd to September 15th. Write it down if you're a rising Virgo, even sun in Virgo. It is an important time. Then let's see, relationships, your favorite, yay. Okay, Saturn entering your seventh house, you will definitely feel it. I've had that. It's gonna be it's 3 years of this. So in the last couple of weeks, especially of December, first week of January, you've been actually dealing, bless you, with Saturn's like energy, like a preview of it. So what does that mean? Either, let's say you are in a relationship, your partners may be going through changes health wise, career work wise. They may be going through changes with their own inner self, because the fifth house lovers and you are trying to get serious though. The fifth house rulers in the seventh house, they're trying to get serious about something, whether it's psychological, whether it's health, whether it's money. This is a serious matter. Some of you in relationships are getting divorced. Saturn brings divorce. Saturn brings legal matters. Saturn is the government. So some of you may be getting, immigration papers for your partner, or your partner may be going through some health stuff themselves. Like I said, you will know this like right away. Now, if you are single and you are looking for love, I wouldn't necessarily look for it now. That doesn't mean you can't date people, because the ruler of your fifth house is going into the seventh house. You're just going to date more serious. Date for love. Date for actual connections. So that might be the theme, because the ruler of the fifth is in the seventh. So you will be able to find relationships, especially maybe you date older people. Saturn does bring older people. But overall, there is opportunities for you to meet people, especially in between May. When Jupiter switches, you will become even more desirable to your partners. Some of you would get married. The ruler of your seventh is going into the ninth. Some of you do get married, surprisingly, because you have a lot of transits in your ninth house. Maybe you get married for money. Let me know and put me on. Yes, or this, like I said, this could be a very monumental year for you both, as a career choice for both of you. Yes. What else? Yeah, so relationships this year are a turning point for a lot of Virgos, especially Virgo rising, Moon and Virgo. This could be situations with your mother. You finally moving, you're upgrading your life some as well. So I wish you nothing but the best, Virgos. So I hope that makes sense. Let's see, were we missing anything? We covered your retrogrades. We covered your Mercury. Oh, and your money. I feel like you would do better money-wise when you get well, somehow some of you are getting money from some like outside source, like either clients or either loans. So something you've created, because you have Venus in there, or you got money coming in from different places, like other people, like you may, like you just, I don't know how your life is, Virgo, but you look like your money doesn't really shift. You look like you gain more money, especially the first early of the year. But I think that you will have a job change when Jupiter goes into your ninth house. A lot of you, you could definitely increase your income once Jupiter goes into Taurus. But the best time when repeated this, and if you are listening to it again, oh well, sorry. I just wanted to come in here and talk about the retrogrades real quickly, especially Venus. I think we did your Mercury retrogrades because they're important. Obviously, they affect you a lot, especially that Virgo one and that Taurus one. Please pay attention to it. Anyways, Venus will be in Leo for like 6 months in your 12th house, or the blind spot away from you. If you're a sun in Virgo, this is the house right behind you. Venus is the ruler of your second house, of how you feel, your self-worth, your money, your resources, your family. Venus also rules your status, the ninth house away from you, sun, moon, and rising in Virgo. Don't test me. Anyways, it rules your status, grandparents, father figures. It rules the legal bounding paperwork, things with your name on it, being judged, anything with courts, anything that has to deal with outside sources like the government, going to school, education, traveling is in the 12th house away from you. Now, that's a great thing. The 12th house is a leisure time. It's a how maybe times of losses. Maybe you lose a status, change a status in your name, change something with your name. It's going in the 12th house. It's still a loss, or it's still a. That doesn't mean you're gonna lose forever. You could gain a couple months after, but it could be a complete expenses. The 12th house rules expenses. Some of you may go on trips by water or far away. Some of you may need to there's again, this is an internal house, so again, you were getting eclipse in the 8th house. Some of you have procedures, this is the second house of your worth, self-worth, or your face. Some of you have things going on with your face, maybe, or some of you take some type of supplements or like medicine that could change around the retrograde. Again, that's from July 28th to September. That's for 3 months when it goes retrograde. Let me show you that again. July 22nd to September 3rd. The first people that are going to feel it is late born September people, and then early September people will feel it towards the early beginning of September by your birthday, or those that are. It's again, go by the risings, look at the degrees of your rising sign, your sun sign over here, your moon. I showed you how to follow your chart. So just wanted to finish it up with that. Overall, 2023 is a great year for you to change status, to elevate your finances, Virgo, which I am, to put your name out there. Like, I'm a Venus in Virgo. I'm going to keep working on my advertising, obviously. Hello, sorry for these videos taking that long. Jupiter goes into Gemini, which will be in 2024. That's going to be a great year for you financially, for sure. You'll work more. You'll have more hours. You'll have more clients, whatever it is that you do in industry-wise. So you're literally preparing for those upgrades for those years, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Virgos, stay safe. See you later.